Hi, how are you doing? This is Greg Van Kirk, and I'd like to spend a few minutes walking through this incentivization blueprint collaborative change making, collaborative conversation tool. This is for conversations focused on defining the mix of intrinsic and extrinsic incentives that you're going to want to address for people to take advantage of your solution, your innovation, your strategy, your program, what have you. This is one of the innovation design tools and currently resides in Toolkit 6, Design Blueprints. So I'm going to go through about this tool as you see at the top here. Then I'll go over to the actual tool as you see it here and walk you through that. It's pretty straightforward, but definitely you're going to want to put a lot of thoughtfulness into this and then engagement role guidance for this. So with the incentivization blueprint, going back to the top of about this tool, in the words of Charlie Munger, former Vice-Chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcome. It's incentives that move people to make decisions and take action. And there's no one-size-fits-all incentive. People are typically moved by a mix of intrinsic motivators, extrinsic drivers, and organizational/societal factors. Figuring out the right mix requires analysis and thoughtfulness. This incentivization blueprint tool should help you and your team have conversations about the mix of incentives that might work best for your change-making efforts. It's helpful to put incentives in the three following categories when you're considering their relevance for your change-making efforts. So first, we have personal intrinsic. These are the personal motivations driven by a felt need or desire. Right? These kind of come from the heart. This is where you should start. Three examples in this category are love, self-actualization, and moral motivations. Personal extrinsic. These affect the personal but come from the outside. One or more of these are often necessary but insufficient and or unsustainable without other types of incentives in place. You can't just rely on personal extrinsic. Three examples of this in this category are career advancement, increased earnings, and avoiding punishment. Right? To be different for different situations. Organizational and societal. These incentives tend to be less personal and more general in nature. Three examples in this category are responding to a crisis, following a political party, and compliance with a rule/regulation. Okay, so that's a brief description. We got three kinds. We got personal intrinsic, we got personal extrinsic, and we've got organizational societal. So here's our tool. As always, you can click here. If you look at the top, in a PDF version, you can click here, right there it is, or on the tool to access the Google Sheet, make an editable copy. So you can use it in any kind of environment, certainly edit yourself. You see there's space here for you to add incentives. If you look at the left, then we see the incentives in that first column all the way down. And if you look over, you'll see they're broken up in these three categories, personal intrinsic, personal extrinsic, and organizational societal at the bottom. So what you want to do is simply review these. Start at the personal intrinsic, as always, and wonder for example, is love in some way going to motivate people to take advantage of your solution, of what you have to offer? Might it be self-actualization, sense of purpose, being a role model or a mentor, fun, joy, what have you? There could be any number, right? There's also space there for you to fill in other ones on your own. Same thing if you look down, continue down in personal extrinsic, career advancement, awards, increased earnings, et cetera, et cetera. And then at the bottommost is the organizational societal, might be following a movement, following a political party, responding to a crisis, et cetera. So those are examples of these incentives. And so what you want to do is note down again, what is your solution? What is your innovation at the top? So describe it. Right. And then the incentives are what will incentivize someone to, again, want to take advantage of it, want to use it. What are the incentives that are built into it? So then if you look over to the right of the incentives columns, you have a column that says relevance for our design. 0, not relevant at all. Right. 5, incredibly relevant. Right. So if I look down at maybe personal intrinsic and I go the third one down, you see sense of purpose. Is a sense of purpose, is that something that will drive somebody, to use what we have to offer to take advantage of our solution or innovation? If not at all, it would be a 0, or if it will, it'd be a 5. So work through all of these. It'll help you think it through as well, and probably touch on some things you hadn't thought about. And then for the ones where they're highly relevant, you want to go to the right and have a conversation about the design feature that achieves this. What is it about your solution, your innovation, that creates this incentive, that is in line with this incentive? Okay, and then they've got a good feel for the incentives that are built in. Now, if you don't have many incentives, right, you're going through the relevance for your design, you're just designing something, you may want to think about, well, let's make sure that we have certain ones that are relevant that maybe don't exist already. And with that, you're going to want to maybe put 5 is high. That's going to be really relevant for us. And then we're going to have to come up with a design feature that achieves this. What might help us to achieve this? So that is our incentivization blueprint. Now, if we look at our engagement role guidance, so if you're hands-on, you might create an incentivization blueprint for the solution that the organization you're working, that you're volunteering, working or interning with is offering to community members. So why do people take advantage of what they have to offer? What are the incentives? If you're consulting, use this to help the organization team and our project team that you're consulting for build an incentivization blueprint for a new or modified solution strategy or program. As with all of these tools, this can be one of your final deliverables. And if you're innovating, you might build an incentivization blueprint for your innovation, right? Make sure that your innovation is going to incentivize people to take advantage of it, get access to it, use it, put it into practice, and ideally at the end, advocate for it. So hopefully you find this helpful. If nothing else, it just helps you comprehensively think through what are all the incentives, sort of the menu of incentives that I can take advantage of, and that might attract people. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here for that. If you'd like to collaborate, you want a little bit of help using this, please reach out. But apart from that, all the best and have a wonderful day.